but we don't want to keep this guy waiting. He's been waiting long enough. The CFL on TSN's Rod Black joining us from TSN Control. He's getting ready, I think, for Raptors game day. Rod Black, welcome to the RP Show. How you doing, my friend?
RP, doing great, man. We are getting ready. There's my boy Leo Routen.
Hey, Leo! Uncle Leo! Good to see you.
Uncle Leo. Just stay away. We're socially distant. We should have been socially distant many years ago.
How nice is it?
You know what I'm saying?
It's John Lynch, by the way. You guys want to put the Hall of Fame rider broadcaster here, John Frenzy, from the 70s and 80s.
Hey, how are you, brother?
Not bad. Not bad. Remember taking down the Weyburn, hey? Many years ago?
Yes. Yes.
Remember that one?
What the hell was that about?
Remember that game? That was crazy.
It sure was.
Stop the presses! What are you guys talking about?
I drove them down to Weyburn to do a Bantam final of hockey.
RBC, Royal Bank Junior Cup. Yeah.
Yep.
Weyburn Red Wings.
Okay, sorry. It wasn't Bantam Lynch. It was the Junior Weyburn Red Wings. Okay,
and it was awesome. One of the greatest games I've ever seen. Unfortunately, didn't end very well, but it was it was crazy and great fans.
It was 2005. The Red Wings will disagree. They won the game. So, yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, it was just go back and look at the highlights. It was a bit of a miscue by a goalie to end the game. It was sad, but that's hockey. That's youth sport, right? So,
yeah.
But it was a great time. I love the trip to Weyburn. I think, as a matter of fact, we might have set a speed record on the way back.
I think we did.
There's no cops on that highway, and that's right through my hometown. So anyway, look at this connection. Bringing people together. That's what we do here every day. Listen, we'll get to the Raptors in a second. CFL, Rod, any thoughts as where we sit here and what's now today, August the 14th?
Yeah, well, I heard, Roderick, that today's the day. They're going to make some sort of decision. But I also heard that 2 weeks ago, and I heard that a month ago. So I think, as I told you last time, my level of optimism has decreased. I'm probably about a 5 out of 10 now. I'm hoping that we can see Canadian Football League play this year. It would be beginning in October, likely, 6-game schedule. Then 8 teams make the playoffs. The Grey Cup might be decided in early December, as a matter of fact. Obviously, hubbed in Winnipeg. I mean, those are the parameters right now we've talked about. But the bottom line is safety. And if you look at what's going on in the NCAA right now with all of those fall sports being canceled and, really football hanging by a thread right now in terms of whether they will play NCAA football this year and maybe move it to the spring, I would think that maybe our level of optimism is decreasing even more. But we may know more today.
It's a scary, scary time for sure, no doubt, and we feel for all the people.
And we got to be safe. I mean, the bottom line is this whole thing has to be safe. And if it's like the NHL and it's like the NBA, which have had 0 tests over the last week or so, 2 weeks, then why not? But if there is, you're bringing American players over the border who may come from hot spots, you're bringing players from all over the country into one area. If everybody tests and everybody's safe, why not? But.
Yeah, and who's going to pay for it? Lynch, you have one more football question for Rod?
Yeah, Rod, I do. The big thing I'm hearing from people is if we cut it, if we close it up right now, the league closes down for this year, it's going to be quite a problem getting it back. And I've been told, watch out, it'll be really tough to get it back. You could use it for 2 or 3 years, which would be an unbelievable tragedy. And sitting here in Regina in that beautiful new stadium, which you see out there, you really wonder what's going on.
John, all the beautiful stadiums. I mean, I consider every stadium such like a snowflake in the Canadian Football League. They're all beautiful. Obviously, Regina's got a palace there. I fear, obviously, moving forward, but we're in uncharted times. And I do think one thing, and Rod, you probably would agree with me, is that the CFL is like a vampire. You can't kill the CFL. You cannot kill it. It continues to come back. So all of the pessimists or naysayers, I would suggest that, that there still always will be hope for a Canadian Football League. My thing is now, the bottom line is they need the money. And so if they don't get the money, they're not going to be able to operate. The $30 million or so from the federal government. There's obviously some television money there, too, because you have to pay the players. There's not going to be a gate. Do you want to play a season and have an interest-free loan of $30 million for only a 2-month season? Is it also worth playing a season and having to repay $30 million down the road? That's another question that the Canadian Football League higher ups have to think about today. So I fear for the next few weeks. I fear for sports, and but again, if it's like the NHL and NBA, look what they have been able to accomplish. So I do believe my mantra in life is anything is possible. So let's hope on that.
For sure. And everything happens for a reason, too, by the way, which is mine. I hear the vampire thing as well, Rod. And the only thing is we've never faced anything like COVID before from a Canadian Football League perspective, right?
Maybe COVID can kill vampires. I'm not sure.
We're going to.
I didn't see Twilight.
Yeah. Great show. So to the Raptors, by the way, and I want to bring up to the young kids that are viewing that I know you were the original voice.
There's my boy.
I think you blocked your. What's Leo doing? Is he flexing?
It's the first time in 30 days he's been out of the sun, so it's all good.
I got you. Yeah, he likes his son, doesn't he? Rod.
Yes, he does.
How excited are you for the Raptors that you've got to this point? Now on the precipice of the NBA playoffs, and without Kawhi Leonard, they still look like the Eastern juggernaut, maybe even the league juggernaut. This is an exciting time. How excited are you to get rolling with the playoffs?
Yeah. First of all, I'm excited to be back in the studio. I was getting tired of doing stuff from home, getting tired of not talking about sports or watching. Hey, the Raptors championship last year, Rod, was great. But I think I watched it replayed about 20 times. And by the way, they still won every single time. But now it's, the bubble has reaffirmed to me how good they are, how defensively strong they are. Are they a juggernaut? I'm not so sure, but I do think that they will be one of the favorites, certainly in the East. They have a really good opportunity here. The first series, I think it's a bit of a gimme series against the Brooklyn Nets. They have to be careful, but they should win that series. The next series, probably against the Boston Celtics, is one that kind of worries me a little bit. Boston has a lot of weapons, but everybody's kind of anticipating Milwaukee and Toronto again in the Eastern Final in the bubble where there's no real home court advantage for anybody. I know that the NBA is talking about amping up the amplifier and making it more home friendly, if you will, and having more monitors. And the NBA is good at this stuff, so they're going to make it more like a home environment. But I do think, like last year, I think that the Raptors are in Milwaukee's kitchen a little bit. So yeah, I think they have to be optimistic. And hey, who would have ever thought we'd be watching summer league basketball that has a real meaning to it? And yeah, they're good. They're real good.
It's the same as the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who would have thought in August we're watching hockey? I feel like I should be watching NFL camps and obviously CFL football. It's bizarro world.
Yeah.
But, Rod, can you please put your analyst cap on for a second and tell me how have the Raptors stayed so good without Kawhi Leonard, the MVP, who's not there anymore? It almost looks like they haven't missed a beat. Obviously, this is a true team.
Well, top down. It's, from the ownership to President Messiah Jury, General Manager Bobby Webster, Coach Nick Nurse, who I believe, and many do believe, he's the coach of the year. He should be. I think, it goes without saying how good of a job he did last year. I mean, to be, he still didn't get respect because, they had Kawhi and they had all that. Well, he didn't have Kawhi this year. The record's better at this point than it was. They're as good as they were defensively last year. Sure, they missed Kawhi Leonard. That'd be silly for anybody to say not. I mean, I couldn't imagine how good they'd be if they had Kawhi, but they're also very deep. And Pascal Siakam is obviously developed into a star or superstar in the league. And I do believe that this team ticks around Kyle Lowry. When Kyle Lowry is in Kyle Lowry mode, everybody kind of follows. And I think Fred VanVleet's one of those guys. OG Anunoby's has resurrected his career, a young career so far. He's had an incredible year. Marcus Sol comes in. Everybody's so committed. And I think it's kind of like a summer league, when you play sports when you're a kid and you're all together. And one thing about this team that we've noticed, I know Leo has, and we've always talked about it, is how close this team is. They are so close. They're so close together. That's one of the reasons they won a championship last year. They're very tight. And imagine what it's like. You can't do anything, maybe play video games, go golfing, whatever. But that's how good they are. The only thing about it is I still think the Raptors don't get a lot of respect. I mean, I saw the times, the TV times now, the schedule for next week. The Raptors begin on Monday, but most of the games are day games. They're the defending NBA champions. Now they're playing against Brooklyn. I know that they're missing some star value, but hey, I like. There's another thing. I think the Raptors love coming in as the underdog again, and they like when people disrespect them. And to me, they're in a perfect position right now.
Hey, manufacture a chip on your shoulder or whatever it takes. And look, obviously you're close to going to air, so let me just say this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were the original
Not yet,
Raptors.
because the studio actually smells really good. As soon as we get to go to air.
Oh yeah, Leo, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Absolutely. But hey, how did it feel to see the Raptors win it all, given the fact, I mean, there's a lot of day one guys. Herbie Kuhn comes to mind for me, and I've talked to Herbie what it meant to win a ring.
Oh, yeah.
What it mean for you to be around to see the Raptors win it all when you were back way there as well in day one?
Yeah, my dude over here, and he and I and Herbie and the Raptor mascot and a couple of other, Paul Jones, we've been watching them for 25 years. I can tell you, I'm sure it's like the people in Regina when the Saskatchewan Roughriders won back in the 80s, right? Winnipeg, when they finally won this last year after a long drought. I mean, I don't think there were some really lean years. Yeah, for the Toronto Raptors, really lean years. I mean, they sucked. There were some times when a lot of people didn't think basketball had a future. But you know what? To see it come to fruition the way it did, I think it still gives me goosebumps. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. Good.
It was fun to follow, and we're watching every game, every day with your stuff. So that will continue today. Rod, thanks for the time as always. Really appreciate you, man. Love you, and go Raptors.
Love you too, man. Fingers crossed for the Raptors. Double fingers crossed, toes crossed for CFL. The Canadian Football League. You got it,
I
bro.
love it.
I'll see you soon. I hope to see you in person.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you. We got to get him his Rockstar of the Day hat. And Lynch is modeling it very well if we can go to the full shot here. Rod Black, a perennial winner of the Rod Pedersen Show Rockstar of the Day. Lynch is wearing that hat today. And we might have a competition, a photo finish between Rod Black and John Lynch. He's saying something? Sure. We'll put you back on. Rod, what are you saying there? What do you got?
Where the hell's my hat?
I told you we'd deliver it in person.
Is Lynch wearing my hat?
Yeah, well, we actually have more than one. But we will.
All right.
We'll ship it to you.
Last I looked, Canada Post and UPS and Amazon, they're not being affected by COVID.
Well, that's right.
Just saying.
Overnight delivery. You'll have it next week. I want to see it on the air. Thank you, Rod.
Take care. Got to go to air.
Got to go to air. He says, you know he's going to host a Raptors game wearing a Rockstar of the Day hat. You know that.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.